Hi, my West Astrology tribe, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina. We are here again, and look who is here. I love Krasi. I love working with her. She's amazing. So
Same
thank
here,
God.
Christina.
How are you, Krasi?
Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, guys, we were thinking of that. We're going to actually talk about the future, obviously, and try to actually analyze it for you. And I did share on the computer, but anyway, I'm going to say the conjunction and oppositions of the big planets, the social and the outer planets, and how is it going to shift the world, shift the power, and what it might, bring in, or some kind of historical parallel also, if we mention. So, we're not going to mention signs, because you know that Krasi actually is Babylonian, very, very. How do you call that? Very old kind of astrology, the very first one, actually, what she does. And I'm doing the Western tropical astrology. So we're not going to mention any sign, not to confuse you. We're only going to actually analyze the planets and the aspect between for the next 5 years. So actually, I started in 2026 on this slide, but we can still talk about the axis energy of the eclipse a little bit, or if you want to, we already have right now Saturn and Neptune going to conjunct again and trine with Jupiter a little bit,
Exactly.
not exact, but we still can talk about that. All right, so let's start. Where do you want to start? Uh,
One note I want to make, Christina, before we start, just to say why we came to this idea to look at the world from now to maybe 2030 or earlier, doesn't matter. Because when it comes to mundane astrology, it is good to combine tropical and Babylonian sidereal. Because, just to say to people who do not know this, sidereal astrology shows literally to degree where the planets and the stars are, literally. Tropical is more like projection on the ecliptic of the sun. There is no exact degree of the planets and the sun. But because we live and people kind of adopted the tropical astrology, they created the energy more around the tropical, and they built egregor, like a thought form based on the tropical. When it comes to world events, when it comes to the collective, the tropical astrology works too very well because it shows mainly the psychological tendencies, and we, with our thoughts and psychology, we're building the matrix, we're building the egregor. That's why we today with Christina, we will look from both perspectives. And I see now when you mention that you're looking at the same things, the cycles, conjunction starts, which conjunctions always start cycles between planets. And so we'll be analyzing pretty much the same things, but from both perspectives. Yes.
All right. Yes, and it's going to be very interesting. Okay, let's start then with February 2026, because
Yeah.
that's when it's going to conjunct Saturn and Neptune, guys. And in tropical, it's going to be Aries. It's going to be all on the world axis in 0 degrees. That's also very, very important, the world axis, because of this is a major collective shift, And when we had Neptune before in Aries, guys, we had actually the Civil War in America, just so you know the historical parallel over there. So, Neptune and Saturn usually also mean some kind of either dogmas, or it is most likely like religious dogmas and the war between religion also. But I assume also, for me, Neptune and Saturn to me could bring in some kind of new virus. And because in tropical astrology, it's in Aries, Krasi, I was thinking Aries is the head, Mars, Mars rules Aries, it could be the eye. So I'm somehow concerned it's going to be something to do with the eye, some kind of virus which is affecting the head and the eye. It could be pink eye, but very bad, like for months, and people are going to have blurry vision, Neptune, or sees the vision, because they don't want us to see somehow. So somehow that's what I think with that Saturn Neptune conjunction. But obviously, to me, that is also representing somehow religious ideology and war on it, or war between, or actually war on popism. So I always said, when Saturn Neptune going to start to conjunct, not from a long time from there on, we're going to maybe have end of popism. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yes. Now, Saturn Neptune was also the first thing that I thought of mentioning. Yes, because it seems to be the most important beginning of cycle for this year, 2025, and also next year. Why? Because this conjunction took place already three times. Once, I forgot when, in the spring of
Yeah.
2025, and then it was now in June, and then in July.
Mhm.
So this conjunction, Saturn Neptune, like you said, is always very revolutionary. You had the French Revolution on this. You had many, many, many revolutionary events. Yes, the most interesting thing is that, yes, this is beginning of a cycle, and this thing will repeat once again in February, second part of February of 2026. What this conjunction brought to us now, quite similar will be, I believe, what will happen. Yes, health, of course, because sidereal is happening in Pisces. Pisces is always about health. Could be attempts for them to try to bring up things. They will not manage with health stuff anymore, but they may try. But I think more interestingly is when you look at the charts of the main global players, and I'm starting with Russia. If you look at the horoscope of Russia, the horoscope of 1990, when the Soviet Union fell apart, and so you have this conjunction taking place on their seventh house, where they have Mars. Mars is in the 15th degree Pisces. Saturn, Neptune meet in the 7th degree Pisces. And also, at the very same moment, they have Jupiter return. They have Jupiter in Gemini in the star Sirius, the most important star from ancient perspective. And also they have Pluto, the transit in Pluto on their natal moon. Something super important will happen for Russia and for the world, because Russia is a global player. It will not. This is the second part of February.
Yeah.
Like, especially exact these degrees are around 26th of February. But I just tell you, Pluto in the 10th degree makes exact 2-degree conjunction with their moon and Rahu, and then you have Saturn, Neptune on their seventh house. There will be something coming from enemies, neighboring enemies, most probably because of the seventh house, but also, and like new cycle for the country. Why I believe this may have eventually, if not immediately, later on positive impact, it is because they have Jupiter return. And Jupiter is not just anywhere. Jupiter is conjoined Sirius, the star which is, which is every single ancient nation and
Honor,
religion
honor. It,
owner.
yes,
Yeah,
honor, and that is the dog star, and that is the Sirius
exactly.
second
Sirius
star.
star.
It's
This
beautiful.
is this is about February we're speaking. When you look at the states, in United States, you can't imagine, Christina, again, very interesting thing is taking place. On the same second part of February, take 23rd to 26th of February. Same very, very critical event. So I feel with saying this, February will be turning point for the world, because look what's happening for the state. For the states, this conjunction happening in Pisces, guess what? Is repeating the degree of their Pluto and is forming sextile to their Pluto. So they can join in the 7th degree Pisces, they have Pluto in the 7th. Tropically will be the same. Only the name of the degree will be different, but then the repetition of the degree will be absolutely the same. But I feel the more the impact is heavier note, but more impactful is what is happening on the sky on Russia because of the Sirius.
Yeah. You know, okay, Krasi. So in when Uranus went to Gemini last time, we had and Neptune was in Aries also that same time. I mean by tropical. I'm sorry, by tropical.
Yeah.
So then we not only had the US Revolution and Civil War, but we also had from 1850 to 53 when Uranus went from Taurus to Gemini by tropical, we had Korea, we had Russia, China together against the US, and the US lost. So I'm telling you, this is right now the BRIC nations I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And I do see, and Russia started the war on my birthday actually 3 years ago, February 24th in 2022. So it's gonna be 4 years already on that February 20 when Neptune Saturn gonna conjunct, and as you said, February 26th. So 4 years around, it's started the war, and because Sirius is honor and recognition, yes, Pluto is on their moon. Why? Because of that, it's going to be a lot of casualty death or military death. So they already lost 1.3 million in these 3 years of war between Ukraine and Russia, right? Right now, when Pluto is going to go exact, they're gonna go big into this whole city, into this war, unfortunately, and they're going to lose more people, more military people. But eventually, Russia
Will
going
win.
to, yes, 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 that's what,
Russia won already. Yeah, of
yes,
course.
yeah,
No doubt
yeah.
about this. No
So,
doubt.
because you said the Soviet Union and you had actually, I also work with that chart
Date, right?
recently because you have to, but yes, indeed, that's what it means. It's almost like getting back areas, from the previous Soviet Union. Yes.
Yes. And about the states also, you see, Christina, on around this time, February, they have the transit in Mars right conjoining their natal moon, which is very, very crazy because Mars in Aquarius invisible at that time. Mars will not be seen, and he will conjoin their natal moon. And
Okay.
also the what will be quite protecting them will be Jupiter will be conjoined the Sun of the United States. And they have the Sun. You see how interesting states, they have Sun in Sirius. Russia, they have Jupiter in
They're
Sirius.
in
So they
Syrians.
they know the importance. Astrologers made their charts, obviously, but it shows how significant the week will be around. The second part of February will be key important for the world. It will be turning point.
Yes.
So also around that time that you have this big conjunction of planets in Pisces, everyone, they all go together. This is not very rare. Somewhere people will say, no, this is rare. It's not rare because around February you always have this conjunction of
Yes.
planets.
Yeah,
But
we always
still,
have the stellium over there.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But it is happening, for Russia in their sixth house, activating lots of enemies. In the States, it's in the fifth house, more on the lucky side. But this doesn't mean that they will not have big issues with the activation of Pluto once again.
Mhm.
Even though it's a sextile, it is believed even sextile from malefic planet is tricky.
Pluto actually the same time going to oppose America's North Node, because America's North Node actually, like, yes, this
Very
is
true.
the
Yes.
opposition. And the North Node over there, it is obviously the future of the US. And we're gonna talk about that later on also, because the US, we're gonna have a Uranus return, the US dollar has a Saturn return. So
Oh, yeah.
obviously it's going to be very heavy. But also transit, or I may have a progress or transit chart. Let me see, even chart transit. So transit Israel actually, also in the US natal sun. So by that time, it's also going to be on the natal sun. Obviously, I'm doing tropical. So for me, US has a Sagittarius ascendant and the eighth house of Cancer and the stellium over there. And it
Mm.
has an Israel return also. But if it's in the eighth house, I would think eighth house is deep state also, and
Oh, oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and I think it's going to be revealed because Jupiter is there as well. As you said, Jupiter is coming back for Russia's Jupiter return for the US natal sun with Israel on it. So I would think deep state going to be absolutely Epstein file gonna come out, deep state going to be exposed for the US. So that's what I think there.
What do you think about the peace? I think because of Uranus advancing towards the most important degrees in Taurus, and this is happening already towards 2027, 2028. Big deal. It will happen with the finances of the states, and could be that there will be new financial beginnings, which will mean collapse of the old. And this is
Yes.
happening when Uranus return will happen to the degree which
Mhm.
is more towards 2028 even, then there will be Uranus will get to the 18th degree of Taurus. And Uranus in their horoscope is very powerful because he is in his morning, first meaning. No, sorry. Anyway, Uranus is very powerful because Uranus is in the vicinity of the same very powerful royal star Aldebaran. Aldebaran,
Yes.
money. So it will be collapse of the old system, and then they will be doing something new. But it is not easy to build the new. I think they will go through big financial
Crisis.
crisis.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crisis because the dollar has a Saturn return, obviously. So the dollar going to be, crap, and not gonna have any value. And then what I also see, because I'm doing the tropical Western, when Pluto is in Aquarius, it is like bypassing the traditional banking and going technological. And even if I don't see it in Aquarius, Pluto trying to Uranus anyway, bypassing banking and actually building up a cryptocurrency. And then it comes in the Plantir and Peter Thiel and everyone else because they wanted to do the golden globe, whatever, around the US, which is total surveillance and checking on everything, which is terrible, terrible, terrible. So we must resist no matter what. But yes, the Uranus, you know what I saw, guys? I saw Uranus return. It's not going to be exact by degree, but July 4th, 2026, America going to have the 250th birthday. And that day, July 4th, we have Uranus Mars conjunction. Okay? Just when actually Trump got shut in the ear, we had Uranus Mars conjunction in
Very true.
2024 April, right? So we're gonna have it again in a different sign. But for America, on the Uranus return, on the 250th birthday, it's gonna be a major, I believe, like a civil
Like
war.
a revolution. Yeah. By the way,
Revolution.
this was staged when they.
Yes,
I
yes,
believe it was staged,
yes.
but now it will not be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
Indeed.
will not be. You know what I checked? Okay, Krasi. I started to really going in and checking Deep State and APEC and everything, right? And actually, Trump on the midheaven has progressed Israel on for a long time already. So he's absolutely hold like choked, like he can do nothing. It's choked by another country, a deep state, and that's what's happening. Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, let's see the other slides over here and let's move forward. Let's talk about July 18th and let's talk about actually Uranus and Pluto trine.
July, you mean of 2026?
Yes, 2026, because we go till the 30th. I actually did the
Sure,
slides.
sure.
Yeah, and that is still 2020. 2026 is gonna be very, very intense. It's a major
Very.
change. And then 2027 still, but then it's going to slow down a little bit by 2029.
You
So
have
yes,
major B6 Pluto towards Neptune, Neptune
yes.
towards Uranus. This is very big.
Mhm.
I think this will advance the change, but it will not be so painful because it's harmonious aspect between this major two. But this will be for the world very, I believe. Um, this is, you know what I think, Christina, because sidereally this is starting from Capricorn.
Okay.
This will be starting from Capricorn. It's always about power figures, the governments. Like
Mhm.
slowly, these people will be replaced,
Yeah.
especially after after July of 2026. They will just be replaced, and most probably by the people,
Yeah.
because and everywhere in the world, because you see now everything is so global
Yeah.
that what happens in America is similarly is happening in everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I saw
So
Bulgaria. You guys had a lot of, like wake-up calls, and people were on the street in Bulgaria right now. In Hungary, France is totally protesting.
oh
Romania,
yeah.
the corrupt Romania, everywhere, guys, we are awakening, which is amazing.
Yeah. And now it doesn't seem to be orchestrated like 2, 3 years ago. Now
Yes,
people really cannot stand it anymore. And I see this indeed, what you mentioned, this July, they will be wiped out,
they will be.
uh, they will be right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they will be. And anyway, even if I'm not talking about sidereal or tropical, just the aspect, I call it the saving grace, because it's like a little something above our head, like a shelter. The aspect itself, the sextile between Saturn-Neptune conjunction with Uranus and the sextile between Pluto, and those are making a trine that is for me the mystic triangle, the saving grace, a shelter above our heads. So yes, there is going to be revolution. Yes, there is going to be, we cannot take it anymore. We were chosen, we choose to be born right now, to be the voice. You and me and other people out online, we are the voice actually, or hold each other's hand and create a tribe. And yes, be revolutionary, and the Plutonian power is changing and people taking over. They still, the shadow government and the old structures still holding on to, but guys, bloomers are going out. Bloomers has what, 10 years? Not even. So Gen Z, look at what's happened in Nepal. In 1 or 2 days, they took off the government. That's it, done. That's what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Gen Z not going to tolerate.
No. One more thing, Christina, and this way I would like to that we think about this together because I'm thinking a lot about the following. Yes, I will tell you the sidereal fact, and I will ask you to think a little bit from the sidereal perspective, because in June, before this event, which you just mentioned, Mars becomes visible for the first time after being for a very long. Now Mars is invisible. He became invisible somewhere in August in Virgo. He became invisible, means he came too close to the sun, and he will become visible to show his face for the first time, totally new, reborn in Aries. I'm
Oh,
thinking, my thoughts are, I'm thinking about this a lot because I would like to to have unbiased thought, Mars is happy in Aries, but in Aries he also will be like full with powers, newborn, very very strong and joyful because this is his throne, right? In Aries. So, do you think that this means another war or not? Because listen, when in 2019, I think it was November, approximately somewhere in November in 2019, when Mars became visible in the same way for the first time in Virgo, he gave the what you know what the health shit.
Yes.
Excuse my French. Now because wherever he appears for the first time, he brings something. Later, he in 2021 he appeared in Scorpio. He gave the war, and now he is invisible, and he brings the war to a closure. Ukrainian war will be over with this closure of his cycle, and then he becomes visible in Aries. I hope, because he's not angry in Aries, that he will not give explosions in new war and more like maybe more decent actions. What do you think?
You know, Arias is very, very bold. And but
Uh-huh.
I do believe if it's a war, it is going to be a revolution. So not necessarily a war,
War, right?
a third world war. I would think like maybe the protesters out on the street for the war criminals, like yes, we're gonna fight, we're gonna be advocating for something, but actually to getting back the power to belong from the people, because Aries is very useful energy also. So the old crap is going to go out, because they're not supposed to be actually the ones who are leading the country, because they old, they tired, they don't have new ideas. We need refreshed new governments everywhere. So that's why I said the bloomers are out, the useful are coming in. Is it coming with some kind of revolution or some kind of fight? Yes. Even
Yes.
Mars,
Be-
yeah, Mars is happy, but yes, yes, just tell me.
you think so, right?
Yeah.
Because the ascendant of America is ruled by Mars Scorpio, and
Mhm.
Mars appears on their sixth house. This could be exactly this energy of not good energy, right? Of protests, but not necessarily war, but protests and
Mhm.
battles and conflicts. You think this will bring, right?
Yes, in sidereal. Otherwise, it is going to be in Gemini for tropical, and it's the open enemies. But in sidereal, in the sixth house, it could be also the union going to start to protest because of unhuman labor, or maybe they are actually technologically, because we are losing jobs. So Amazon gonna hire a lot of, self-driven cars or robots, and they going to the union is the sixth house, the military, health
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
insurance is the sixth house also. If the health insurance paid by the employer, so it could be also like wake up call. And yes, the useful energy is fighting, because we're gonna resist. It's a resist revolution and resist. Yes, and when Mars is visible, oh my God, you just told me. I forgot about that, Krasi, because
Uh, what
it's
about Russia? On the horoscope of Russia, this is happening on their eighth house.
okay. Yes, I told you they're gonna have a lot more, because Pluto also on the moon. They go in Russia also have a lot of death, because that's mortality. So before they going to rise as honorable nation, whatever, however you call it,
They
because
will have losses.
Sirius is there. Before they win, they going to have a lot of mortality of the soldiers. Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. And maybe also activation of secret services, like tremendous because
Yeah.
of eighth house. In what way? Like control,
Mhm.
censoring, censorship, and things like that.
And
Uh,
China also has Pluto on the moon. And you know what else? Palestine. And I think also, yeah.
Oh,
So it's very, very difficult. Very difficult.
but this makes them a group.
Yes.
This
Yes.
like they will be forming what we see coming actually already, Palestine including, because eventually this has to, yeah. So there will be this group, right? Because
Yeah.
of uh, nothing
You,
is happening without a reason.
Yeah, and that's what I checked. I checked Pluto, whose nation has Pluto close to the moon, and I was like, all right. And so China is there, Palestine is there, Russia is there, but guys, the BRIC nation is made from China, India, Russia, Brazil. Right now, they took 13 more members, side members. They are not the basic members, the seven, but right now the Emirate is also, and Saudi Arabia is also thinking, and Qatar want to join. Can you believe that they already have more than 60% of the resources of the earth? And they took on to Venezuela because of, obviously, Trump just wants to get their oils and their emerald and golds. And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's happening here, it's not
Yeah.
against Carter. I mean, what is coming? Only, yes, something is coming from Venezuela, but mostly Colombia and still Mexico and still, like other countries where Colombia is still the first, fentanyl and everything. It's not Venezuela and whatever. So because of that, Russia already said, they are supporting Venezuela, and they send the submarine. And I told you guys, Saturn-Neptune is submarine war underwater.
Oh yes, because yeah, Neptune energy, of course.
Mhm. Yeah. And in sidereal, it is in Pisces. In tropical, it's in,
Plus
yes, which is
seven
war.
degree. The key 7 degree. The
Okay.
very symbolic 7 degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, okay, but otherwise, Uranus and Pluto trine, it is also changing the financial system, right?
Uranus Pluto trine. Yes,
Yeah, it's beautifully changing the financial system.
especially see one is Capricorn, like very very much changing the whole governmental structure, and then Taurus is the money.
Yeah.
It goes together, governments and financial structure. And it's a trine. Hopefully, they will not enslave us with what they're planning to do with. Uh,
Well, Uranus is plantier. Uranus is cryptocurrency. Pluto itself rules the eighth house, which is banking. But bypassing banking, and yes, indeed, surveillance and spies. What you said, Pluto is also spying on us. So it could be. But I do think, because you said Mars is going to get visible, and we also have Uranus-Mars conjunction, I think we're gonna resist, and we're not going to allow that kind of Peter Thiel deal, which is happening behind the scene already 12 years in Israel. They keep, like they want to surveillance, and they want to control the or the Wikipedia, write whatever they want. They want to rewrite history.
oh, they do already.
Yeah, terrible. All
But
right,
the
let's move
sun and the
forward.
truth you cannot hide.
Yes, exactly. Okay, on July 20th, we're going to have 2026 Jupiter trine Neptune, and we're also going to have Jupiter and Pluto opposition, because Jupiter changing sign June 30th. So the Neptune and Jupiter trine, this is going to be pretty amazing, right?
Mhm.
So what do you think of that?
Jupiter Pluto position to me is always related to financial losses, like easy. The same way Jupiter Pluto conjunction is typical for the richest people on the planet conjunction. When it goes to square in opposition, it is always losing a lot of money and even land. Like,
Yes.
because it is all about Capricorn, it could be land because Pluto is in Capricorn. Could be that there will be reshaped, some borderlines could be reshaped with this. It is very possible, including the fact that at the same moment you will have what? You will have Uranus uh, participating. Uranus, Pluto trine, Uranus, Jupiter sextile.
Yes, a wedge.
And
They
Neptune
make a wedge.
continues to play. Yeah, Neptune is also there in this. This is very big. This is loss. This could be losses. Big, like big.
In July, because of the revolution everywhere, and that it's going to be falling of dynasties and empires and politicians. Yes, there is going to be new Earth because Jupiter Pluto opposition, new Earth, new financial system. I also think, look at that, Krasi, Pluto is volcanic eruption, Jupiter is getting bigger than that. I think maybe that it's going to be, and because of Neptune, Jupiter also trying the same times, the same day, it could be a new island emerging from the ocean. And, there could be some kind of new Earth coming in, or maybe because Neptune is water, Pluto is, going down deep, maybe they're going to find Atlantis, and finally we're going to know where is Atlantis because somehow it's emerging again. So around July, we're going to definitely, and new borders, because don't forget, Uranus is border as well. Neptune doesn't know border. Uranus wants new border, yes. So in this July 18 and July 20, there is definitely financial system changing. It could be some kind of mini crash of some kind of stock market, guys. Not everywhere gonna, you know, because the power is shifting from the west to the east. So when the west is falling, the east is rising. That's why I always tell everyone, if you're doing stock, your portfolio have to be diversity. So for example, me, I also buy Canadian, Mexican, because of if the US going down, I want to make sure I don't lose,
US goes down because this opposition, Jupiter-Pluto, is happening on the 5th, 11th houses of Russia, which are the lucky houses, house of good fortune and house of good spirit. They are winning. For them, it might not be losing, it might be gaining.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people study Russian, you may need it.
Yes, actually, I still, Maton started to study Russian, and right now I started to refresh because
And I'm serious about this.
I know. I was checking ruble, I was checking the BRICS nation currency as well. I was like, okay, we need to invest. I told Maton and the children, okay, Russian and Chinese right now, Mandarin, you will need to study instead of Portuguese. So like make sure you speak. But right now we have that headphone, you put that in your ear and it's listening and it translates everything for you. So I just told George, what's gonna be funny? I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna go to my nail salon and I'm gonna understand the ladies what they are gossiping about us. It's gonna be funny, but all right. So let's move forward. Let's move forward and let's move actually to we're going to have also Jupiter and Saturn trine in August 31st, 2026, and they're going to retrine again April 3rd, 2027. So Jupiter Saturn trine, it's very positive.
Very, very, very good. And already exalted Jupiter, we have severely this year will be good, like from the May something in 2026 to May of 2027, we're going to have exalted Jupiter. This is good. This is good. Like whatever is happening, somehow it's for good.
Yeah, the Saturn Jupiter trine, it's Saturn is government, Jupiter is blessing. The trine, it's also a Jupiterian in flavor. I would think some kind of, so definitely there is going to be shift in power, shift in government, shift on the top in most countries, right? And because of that, and financially, we always start with Jupiter Saturn conjunction, which happened actually in 2021, December 23rd, right? Yes. That's what, or 2020? No, yes.
You mean the great conjunction Saturn Jupiter?
Yes, Jupiter.
2000, January 2021, I think.
The January was Pluto Saturn. It was December.
Then it was December, 2020.
So just 2 months before 20s.
Exactly.
So, but right now that synodic cycle started to change our finances, right? And right now with this trine, I believe that it's going to be blooming. In sidereal, Jupiter is exalted, in tropical, it's in Leo. So both of them, silver and gold, going to be still going up, and something to do with still with the what is that? To buying houses, the house market also could be, really,
Jupiter in Pisces, in exalted real
yes,
estate. Yeah, this will be again. The thing is with Saturn in Pisces, you saw, Christina, I was thinking, when Saturn, it was when he entered Capricorn, he entered in 2021 to 2023, he was in Capricorn, sidereal, and then from 2023, he entered Aquarius, and now he left, he's in Pisces. So these 6 years of Saturn um, being very powerful, highly dignified, we predicted easily this was going to bring the real estate markets very, very high. So it happened. People were building still, not as much as it was, but while Saturn was in Capricorn and in Aquarius, it was the building market, the real estate market, they were up. People say this is balloon. No, this was just astrology. What is happening on the sky is happening on Earth. Now, when he's in Pisces, you see this all goes a little bit down. And when there will be trine with Jupiter, would there be again rise in the real estate markets?
I would think, Rossi, it would make available the market for the general public. Because Moon
Yes.
rules Cancer, right? And that's the public. And if it is a trine, and with Saturn over there, Saturn still seizing something, right? And because of in sidereal, it's in Pisces, but in tropical, it's in fall in Aries. So it's going to help to seize it or take it down. Even in Pisces, it's taking the insurance, and not the insurance, what is that? The APR, it's also going on and making it more available. Maybe the government, Saturn, coming up with ideas, okay, we're gonna support people who has 3 children and giving them pay down, like, for the first house buyer. So somehow it's supporting the average people, I believe.
Very possibly, yes, because I thought immediately of real estate, but then it wouldn't, with Saturn in Pisces, it wouldn't promise growth.
Yes.
Yes.
And
You mean like,
what?
and maybe maybe, yes, what you said, and maybe also building like social, same direction.
Communities, like
Yeah.
communities, families, friends building together. We're gonna
Mm.
see that more often they moving to the same place. But just think of North Node on July 26 going to also move. And in sidereal, it's gonna go to Capricorn, South Node in Cancer. And for us in tropical, it's gonna go to Aquarius and it's gonna go to Leo. Listen that when it's happened before in 2007, 2008, we had the huge crash and the whole
Yes.
market went down. And because in sidereal for you guys, the South Node in Cancer, Cancer is real estate, it's a huge crash.
Crash.
So somehow that's why I think it's not gonna be a boom. It's going to support the average people, families.
Very good connection. Yeah, I agree with you fully.
Okay, very good.
Yes,
So
very
that's
much. Yeah.